And we are live. Well, good evening, all my Facebookers. I'm Joshua Hanning from FutureMorphs, in case you did not know. And well, we are live today, and it is, let's check, Thursday the 6th of March, and it's 7 o'clock in the evening, Central European time. So if you see this later than this, then you can still keep watching and you can comment and whatever you want, but it's not live anymore. Every time I go live, then an hour later or a day later, somebody says hello Joshua in the comments, or has a reaction, which is fine, but I cannot say hello back. So just so you know. Also, maybe you are here for some nice information about the breeding season from this year, but maybe you are here because you want to win a free FutureMorphs t-shirt. I have many of them, so I will give some away, but more about that later. At least I see Peter saying hello, and also at Slangenhuis, so the snake house. So good that you are here. I will have a big thingy of t-shirts here. So I made the t-shirts. I let them. I don't make it myself, but I ordered the t-shirts. I don't know, somewhere end of last year or so. And yeah, since I don't have any reptile shows to go to, at least not as a seller, because I'm basically sold out of all my babies from last year. Yeah, I decided to give away some t-shirts. All the way from Malaga, Spain, Jose. Hello, Jose. And Denise is here. Hello, Denise, my top fan. Upcoming Saturday, so in 2 days, it is the Ham show in Germany again. I will be there as a visitor walking around, so I will also give away the t-shirt. So if you win a t-shirt today, then yeah, you can pick it up at Ham. So, especially it's just a few people watching, but just because you are my biggest fans and are here now, I will start to give away one t-shirt already. So it's super simple. I will give you a genetic question, and the first person who makes a comment basically with the correct answer will win a t-shirt. And you can choose a size and a color, of course. But I just have a small blue one here. It's a female size S. So some people might fit this, some people might not. But here it comes. So especially for all the early people. If you pair a palmetto male to a het palmetto female, how many percentage on average palmettos will hatch? So how many percent? First person who makes it correct will win. So everybody's out typing. So a palmetto male to a het palmetto female. How many percentage of palmettos will hatch? It's pretty simple, but I have to start simple, of course. No answers yet. I know there's always a little delay, so I have to wait. Or maybe nobody knows the answer. That's also possible, of course. Or maybe nobody wants to win a t-shirt. Then I'm also fucked. Peter, 50%. Yay! Peter Rode Hansen, you win. Congratulations. So the easiest is just send me a private message or a WhatsApp, whatever you prefer, after the live stream. And I will... we can see which size you want and which color you want. And hopefully you're also at Ham, of course, in 2 days, because then you can instantly pick it up. Jose said 66%, but unfortunately that's not correct. Because it's a palmetto to a het palmetto, it will be 50% and 50% of each. Well, today sometimes I do like this, by the way. I have my iPad here with some things, so I won't forget. The breeding season is basically, well, almost started. All the snakes are on the normal temperatures again and feeding again, and many of them are in shed. So I was actually thinking to start pairing them today or yesterday or so, but I found out so many females are in shed still, so yeah, they won't breed successfully anyway. So I did a round of feeding yesterday of all the adults. And then on probably Monday or so, then it's like 4 or 5 days. Well, yeah, that is 5 days, I guess. Yeah. After feeding, then I will start introducing the males to the females. Behind me, you can see all the papers laying. Here I have an example of how I do it. I'm really old school. You have like all sorts of cool apps and Excel sheets and whatever you want, and QR codes to scan. Well, I just have an A4 paper that I print out for each female. Jose needs a translator. And Denisha, you are totally wrong with 78%. Yeah, 78%. But you are not the quickest anyway. So, but there will be more t-shirts giving away, so stay tuned. So yeah, I just write down the male and the female. So in this case, the male is an Ultramel Charcoal Tessera Striped, maybe Halo, and a possible head hypo diffused. And the female is a Lava Blood Red, head Eneritristic, possible head Charcoal. So yeah, I want to test the male for Blood Red / diffused. I want to test the female for Charcoal. So yeah, it's sort of a test pairing mostly. But yeah, this is how I do it. I write down yeah, how many eggs they had last year and the year before and stuff. And then yeah, here where it says like date, I will just write the date and a comment basically when I put the male with the female and stuff like that. So it's really old school, but to me it works. And then every year I just write down all the extra information. So well, Jose needs a translator. Rasa said hello from Lithuania. How many clutches you plan this year? Well, clutches, well, I can also guess, by the way, but I have, oh, what, I counted, I made a Patreon video about it. I have, let's check, so I have 94 females maximum for breeding, and some of them are now a little bit on the smaller side, but I think they will make it breeding wise, but at the moment they are like just under 300 grams or so, so I want to have them a little heavier. But let's say between 90 and 94 females I have for breeding, and yeah, just under half usually lays double clutches, so it will be about yeah 130 clutches approximately. But yeah, some of them are double clutches, so quite a lot, but probably a few less than last year. Last year I had a few more females, well, about the same even maybe. I tried to scale down a bit, but it did not really work out. But yeah, maybe I have like 4 or 5 females less compared to last year. I did have a really good breeding and selling year in 2024. But it was a bit much because I don't, last year I had about, I don't know, 1,700 babies or something like that. And Nicola also had about 300. So together we had about 2,000 babies. But yeah, they all come in a few months. So 2,000 babies is not a problem for me to take care of and sell and stuff. If they would come like 150 in January and 150 in February and in March. But yeah, they all come between basically June and, well, end of September or so, maybe beginning October. That's also one of the questions I usually get, like when do you expect your first babies? Well, since it's beginning of March now that I start introducing males and females. So the earliest I usually have eggs is beginning of April. So about 3 weeks after putting the males with the females. That's the quickest you can get. So the first eggs usually beginning of April. And then they hatch, of course, well, usually in 2 months, but maybe a little bit more. Like the last, well, 2 years, I guess, I put my incubators a little lower in temperature. So it takes maybe about 65 to 70 days even. But somewhere like beginning to middle of June, the first babies will hatch. So that will take a while. But yeah, I cannot rush it, of course. Well, yeah, I could put the temperature of the incubators on 32 degrees, but that's not healthy for anybody. So, beginning to middle of June, I will have the first babies. And I will make YouTube videos again, just like I did previous years as well. So I just will make a YouTube playlist with breeding season 2025. And put all the clutches in there. So, also one of the questions that I quite often get is, what project are you most excited about? A good question, Jennifer, so thanks. I will answer it, of course, but sometimes people also ask, oh, but yeah, I also really like your scaleless palmetto project. Can you keep me updated, or do you expect males, or do you expect, And yeah, I just never know exactly what I will breed, of course, because I mostly work with heads and sometimes possible heads, or so yeah, I don't do reservations or something, or don't do waiting lists just for my patrons. Everybody who's a Patreon member, they can get an update about the morph they like, but I will have just a huge waiting list of people I have to update, and maybe I forget some people and they will be upset, or so it's just, yeah, I used to do it in the past, but it's just not worth the time and energy. So what project are you most excited about? That is a good one. Well, a few probably. What does come to mind is mimosa lavenders, and in some combinations with tessera and striped and hypo and amelanistic. But that will be nice. So last year I was lucky in the last few clutches that I had some, and they are nice. I don't know if probably the camera will totally not show it well. Oh wait. Okay, here comes my. I need a camera woman in my life, or man. Bloop. So this is, let me check. Hypo lavender tessera. Out of it doesn't focus, of course, but out of a red factor to mimosa pairing, and it's sort of like, yeah, half outcrossed. So it's really colorful, and it's not even like, yeah, any line breeding of mimosa in there. So yeah, if this is what you can get in first generation, then yeah, I am curious how it can be if I make a little bit more effort. I will do this one-handed. Ooh. Chop. Chop. So that's definitely something I am looking forward to. What else? Well, some micros. Oh yeah, I'm still here, by the way. I was just looking. Some micro scale stuff could be quite nice. Some micro scale, maybe ice. Blood red, or will it be a lava granite or something, and with tessera in the mix? But yeah, small chance in statistically, but well, yeah, it is an option. Let me have a quick look around. Well, some scalers / micro scalers with striped combinations. I really like scalers in striped, but yeah, they are. Yeah, I don't breed many of them, but yeah, you also don't see them that often. So yeah, that's also something I would be cool. But also some sunrise stuff I still have, which can be nice. Well, to be honest, they don't sell really well, but I do like the look of ultramel charcoal combinations as well. But they don't seem to be super popular, like the blizzards are more popular, but well, I do like them. Before we go to the next question, let's give away another t-shirt. If you just tuned in, so yeah, I have a bunch of t-shirts, blue and grey, that I will give away in different sizes. So if you want to win a t-shirt, you only have to answer a question, and first person who writes it in the comments correctly wins. So let's make another question. Let's see. If I would breed, well, let's keep it sort of with simple morphs. If I will breed a snow to a ghost het amelanistic, how many % of the babies will be a snow? So a snow to a ghost het amelanistic pairing. How many %? First person who types it will win a free t-shirt. Pick up in Ham in 2 days. And yeah, there's no, that's all. There's no secret things attached or so. You can just get a free t-shirt because I like to give them away. In the meantime, I will see what people all wrote. I watched your Dutch YouTube video with translation, so if I remember correctly, you will do the same as last year. Every clutch will have a separate video. Yeah, Raza, that's correct. Sometimes I will... Jose says 0%. That's not correct. But yeah, Raza, I will make... Sometimes I will put 2 or 3 clutches together if they're small clutches or so. But I will make separate videos again. Arnoud says, hello, how are you? Well, I'm doing good, Arnoud. Hope you are doing well too. Arnoud Walpo, 50%. That's correct. So a ghost is an NRE hypo, but a hypo you won't see, of course, in this pairing. So it will be an NRE het snow, basically, to a snow. So Arnoud, you are correct. You will also win a t-shirt. Thanks for the answer. So just after, well, you can do it now, but you can also do it after the live stream. Just send me a private message or WhatsApp, and with the color and the size that you want. I will see which, so I have 2 colors, different sizes. So one of them will be yours. What else do we have? Question? By the way, always, for in the chat, if you have any questions, just ask. No questions are too strange. And if they are, I will just not answer. Tyron is watching. Hey, Josh from South Africa. Microscale is something I need to import at some stage. Python also. Hello from the Netherlands. Microscale I do really like. I have them for... Give me 1 second, I will check how old the original animal is I have. Let's see, 2021. And where's the other one? Where's the other one? Damn it. I cannot find it. Oh, there he is. 2020. Ha! Sorry, I'm back. So in 2020 I bought the first microscale. So yeah, I bred the first microscalers, I think in 2022 maybe. And I think in 2023 or maybe even last year. No, 2000. Let's check. Microscale, yeah, probably 2023 I bred the first microscale. But I do really like them, especially because you can make microscalers with them. So if you have one scaleless female, for instance, or maybe 10, but yeah, you have a scaleless female in your collection, you only need a microscale male and you can get, yeah, you make all microscalers babies already. So it goes pretty quick. And yeah, a microscalers also by look is sort of in between a scalers and a microscale. So yeah, that's definitely a good combination. So usually if people just want one snake that they like, you can buy whatever you want, of course. But let's say you already have quite a good collection with some scalers, females especially, then I would always advise to buy a microscale male, or you could go for a microscalers or a het microscale, of course. But the quickest will be to just buy a visual microscale. And pied, well, I still have quite, well, not quite some, but I do have some pieds in my collection with pied-sided ghost, pied-sided pewter, hypotessera, snow, hypofire and stuff. So I do like pied, just not in every combination is the best. For instance, the pied-sided snow, I can show you. So this is a 2-year-old female approximately. Yeah, 2023, so almost 2 years old, 1.5, something like that. She is nice, although, yeah, she is not the brightest snow ever, but yeah, she's not bred for that, of course. And she has quite some pied, as you, well, you do see it quite well in the video. Like, basically here where my finger is, that height is all white, like pure white. So it's quite a high white pied-sided, but it just does not pop out because it's a white snake already. So, if it would be just amelanistic, it would pop way more. If it would just be anerythristic, it would pop way more. Ghost I also like. So yeah, sometimes pied is, yeah, it's nice to have because yeah, she is a hypo snow pied, so I can make different things with her. But just the pied-sided by look does not really pop out in all and every combination. But yeah, it's also a matter of taste, of course. But I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 years ago, well, probably 10 years ago, me and also quite some other people were like, okay, let's try to put as many morphs in one combination. So it was 6 or 7 morphs in one snake, which sometimes works out well, but sometimes not really. So yeah, I'm more leaning now towards making, yeah, sort of combinations with 3, 4, 5 combinations, which usually works out better than just stuffing everything together. But it depends on the combination, of course. What else did we have? 25%. So Denisha was wrong again. So no size XS t-shirt for you again. Jose said the next question in Spanish. Well, yo hablo un poco español. Un poquito español. So hola, ¿cómo estás? But yeah, no, my Spanish is not good enough to make an entire live. Let alone talk about genetics. Oh, dit is ja lekker, ja. Patrick Wanninger, ich verstehe nichts. Kannst du das nochmal auf Deutsch erklären? Hallo Patrick, ich bin Joshua von der Niederlanden. Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch, aber Deutsch is schwierig. So yeah, I know some German as well, but I cannot really make really long sentences or so. So yeah, sorry that yeah, my German is not the best. But hopefully English also works. Peter asked, do you have a normal job or is this your job? Well, it depends what is normal, but basically, yeah, breeding and selling snakes is my main job. That's yeah, what I do for most of my money. But I'm also, sometimes I teach, especially about reptiles. So sometimes schools hire me to, teach kids that want to be veterinary assistants or zookeepers or pet shop workers, stuff like that. I also did that for 2 years, like as a practical teacher, basically. So sometimes they still hire me for that. And I also take exams, so I'm an official examinator. So if the kids who want to make their end exam, basically, it's in the Netherlands, if you want to be a zookeeper or something with animals, you have to do a practical exam as well, besides the theoretical exam. And the practical exam, they can also hire me to do that. So that's also part of my income, basically. But I also don't know if that qualifies as a normal job, but a little bit more normal than selling snakes. Raza asked, any adults for sale this year? Yes, but not yet, because the breeding season is just about to start. So at the moment I will keep everything that I have. So all the females will breed and the males as well. But after the breeding season, so usually September or October somewhere, usually September I guess, I will start selling the first adults. Because all the babies that I keep this year, or well, maybe from last year, they grow bigger and bigger. So if I keep 10 babies, then also 10 adults eventually have to go, because this room is not growing. After the breeding season, I do always sell adult males and females, but it will be after breeding season. So, Al-Gila LG or Ich says, pite-sided red you have. I don't know what you mean with red, maybe like missing red or so. But I have not for sale yet, but I do work with pite-sided Enery and charcoal. So those are darker morphs, but also amelanistic. So pite-sided fire, if that is what you mean, maybe with red looking. Tyrant, but I'm just scrolling to all your questions, so keep them coming. I see what you mean. Yes, best to have the reds with pite or the darks of pewters with pite. I agree. That's usually the best. I will get a ghost for you that I really like. Ta-da! This is actually the father of the snow that you saw before. Don't look at my face like that. It's like if you want to eat me. But he is really, extreme white. So, he has basically white all the way until his back, as you hopefully can see. Also, he has some white on his face, on the top of his head. So it almost looks like scarring or so, but it's not. It's really just pite-sided. So, and it goes all the way to the tail. So, and with pite, I did buy this guy. I did not breed him myself. With pite-sided, it really pays off to either breed it yourself or buy, but to really start with high or extreme white animals. For quite some years I only had low white and medium whites, and then sometimes like maybe 1 or 2 babies out of a clutch are high white. But it just takes way more line breeding to get them really into high white. What also seems to be, at least with me, I don't know if you guys have any other experiences, but usually in clutches, the high white babies or extreme white babies are more males than females, usually, not always. So you can definitely have females with this much white, but there's a big chance that the ones with most white in the clutch are males. At least that's my experience. Which is strange on one hand, because it's not really a sex-linked trait or something, because you do have high white pite-sided females. But still, it seems that males are easier to be high white for some reason. Let's put him back. Jose, muy bien. I saw your holidays in Canarias. Last week, basically, we were for 1 week on Gran Canaria and the Canary Islands, so that is Spain. So I could speak a little bit of Spanish, but to be honest, it was mostly a relaxing vacation. So we were just in an all-inclusive hotel, and everybody basically spoke English. But sometimes with tours, it helps to know at least a little basic Spanish. And in January, me and Nicola were in Ecuador, in South America, which is also a Spanish-speaking country. So also for that, I did want to learn at least a little bit of Spanish. So I'm definitely not fluent at all or whatever, but at least I can make simple sentences and I can understand some words and stuff. So it did help me out also in Ecuador, because in Ecuador sometimes they really they don't speak any English at some spots. So basically knowing some really basic Spanish and Google Translate, and then together you are fine, as long as you have internet. But yeah, it's just, it makes the vacation easier if you can speak the language a little bit, of course. The same, I speak a little German, also because Nicola is from Germany, of course. But especially understanding German is not too difficult. So if a German speaks slow German to me and I can reply in Dutch or in really broken German, then you can just have a pretty good conversation. But yeah, I'm not fluent besides in Dutch and English. The rest is just un poco. Looks great, Tyron says. The ghost is gorgeous. I had a reddish corn that had bite marks on the sides, but Don said it was a normal motley with some sort of aberrancy. The offspring never produced any pied-looking babies, even though through the F3 generation. So definitely not pied at the end of the day. Well, you have a crying emoji, and that is on one side a shame, but on the other hand, it would be cool to find sort of a new mutation that also has some washed out pattern or so. But yeah, if you already make 3 generations, and probably it's not genetic, of course, otherwise you should have popped it out somewhere. Maybe it was a paradox. So yeah, if you have either a normal that has some strange aberrant white or albino spots, or maybe you have a snow with some red spots or something, that's some sort of paradoxing, which you see not often, but it's you see it sometimes, at least in different breeders popping up. I also bred some paradoxes, like 3 or 4 in my snake breeding career, let's say, but it basically never seems to be genetic, so that's a shame. So it would be nice if you could make something genetically and consistent like that, but it seems to be not the case. Raza asks, are you planning to add new adults to your collection? How about Okiti? Do you have any in your collection? No, I do not work with any Okitis. There's basically, the reason is, well, maybe I'm just addicted or something, but it's really difficult for me to just take like 1 pair of Okitis or something. Since last year or 2 years ago, I did buy 2 female Miami faces that I really like. And I found a male for them, so I have 1.2. But yeah, then my mind goes, okay, but Miami is nice in crimson, so with hypo, or with amelanistic to get candy cane, or silver queen, and caramel Miamis look really cool. And you see sometimes sun-kissed Miamis that look really cool. So my mind just thinks, oh, I want to combine all sorts of things. And before you know it, I have an entire Rex full of Miamis. Which is not the worst thing to have, but then I cannot have other things in there. So, and the same is with Okitis. I really like just, normal but good Okitis, and also good reverse Okitis are really cool, especially the extreme ones, of course. But it will be difficult to just stay with those Okitis and not combine other morphs in it. So, and not even other morphs, also line breeding. Let's say you have 2 good-looking Okitis, but you have 1 or 2 babies that look even better, then you want to keep them and selectively breed with those. So basically, to protect myself, I should not start with Okitis, but they are really cool. So next question. This is great. If you continue traveling to Spain, you will speak very well, and it will be good for us to have more fans of Spanish Futatas. Well, vacation time is over, at least for the rest of the year. So I went to 2 vacations, sort of short after each other. But yeah, it's best just because now breeding season starts, so I basically cannot really go away for longer than a few days, because now it is, starting Monday then, but introducing males to females, and then a month later there will be eggs. For the next 3 or 4 months there will be eggs, and then after, in June the babies start hatching. But then you also still have to breed some males and females together. But babies hatching, selling, reptile shows. So if I go on vacation now, I have a good friend of mine that just takes care of the animals, and especially in wintertime they don't have to feed, of course. So if they don't feed, they also don't poop. So it's quite easy for him to take care of everything. But if I would say in summer vacation in July, and I would say, hey, I will be gone for 3 weeks to Ecuador again. yeah, good luck trying to find somebody who wants to do it and who can do it and has time for it. And I should just do it myself. So, Jos, show your amazing palmetto. Well, I will, but after I will give away another t-shirt. Haha. So again, if you just tuned in, I have 2 colors of t-shirts with FutureMorphs logos. Totally free. You only have to answer correctly. And what I will do now is well, let's do the first 3 people that have the correct answer. They will all get a t-shirt. So 3 t-shirts now. So if you say a wrong answer and I say no, it's wrong, you can make a new answer, but just the 3 first people who have it correct. So keep guessing. So, a nice question. Do we make a difficult question or an easy question? Well, I also want you to have it correct, so I should not make it too difficult, maybe. Okay, I know. Which 2 morphs together make up an opal? So the morph opal consists of 2 base morphs. Which 2 morphs make an opal? Now, quickly type. Go to comments. So the first 3 people who say it's what opal consists of. I don't want. Almost gave a subtle hint, but I shouldn't. So the first 3 will win. In the meantime, Tyrant says keeping numbers is really hard. Yeah, it's just I just want to have everything. Nah, not everything, but yeah, it's just difficult. So. Manuel, Lavender plus Amel. Correct. So you win a t-shirt. 2 more people can win. Amel, Lavender. Tyron wins. That's second. It might be difficult to get a t-shirt all the way to South Africa. Third people or third person. The right answer is literally on the screen, people. So Goat Snake, Amel, Lavender. Also correct. Yay. So Manuel, Tyron and yeah, Gautier, I hope I say it correctly. You also all win a t-shirt. So either do it now or after the live stream. Just send me a private message here on Facebook or a WhatsApp message. And just say yeah, that you want a t-shirt. And I will, we can talk about which sizes and colors there are still available. So yeah, just send me a message. And so in 2 days, it's Ham in Germany. I can bring them and you just get a free t-shirt. That's all you had to do. So in the meantime, Denisha said, show your palmetto. So I will, but you again were too slow, Denisha. So I know you want a t-shirt, but yeah, you should just be quicker. But as a comforting prize, I will show a palmetto. Let's start with, do I even have normal palmettos? I don't think I have a normal palmetto. Oh, well, yeah, I do. It's head scalers, but you won't see. Algila, also Lavender and Email. Well, it's correct, but you were the fourth person. So try again later at the next question. Scalers, palmetto. Oh, well, of course it's in shared. But she is in full shade, but this is just a normal palmetto. She's head scalers, so she is genetically cooler, but does she also, can I show the eye? What I do like in palmettos, but they have it more often, so it's not unique per se or so, but they usually also have a color dot in their eye somewhere. I never know what is it the iris or the pupil? I never know what is what, but so that's just a normal palmetto. This one I also really like. Oh. This is also a female, by the way, but an amelanistic palmetto. So genetically you would think, well, it's not that amazing, but well, the look is really cool. But also look at the yellow on her back. So some palmettos just have it. It's basically as if somebody took like a yellow fluorescent marker and went all over her. So yeah, even in the tail you can see it a bit, but mostly in the neck. But yeah, I tested her for caramel, and it's not a head caramel or so, because, well, still, it's sometimes the case, but especially in the past, people said, yeah, if you have, like, more yellow-looking animals, probably it's head caramel. So yeah, I talked about it with, fuck, why can't I think of the name? Damn it. Stormlit scales. I was thinking it was something with S. Go back. I talked about it with Stormlit Scales because, yeah, she basically is the source or the inventor of the yellow factors. And she thinks it could be yellow factor in palmettos, but, well, we talked back and forth. I'm not really sure because you do see the yellow, well, often, but sometimes in palmettos. But, yeah, not in het palmettos. Nobody ever sent to me like, oh, I got a het palmetto from you and look how yellow it got or so. So, yeah, that's why I'm not really sure. But, yeah, I also don't know what causes it. Yeah. Last one. Well, this one might be nice. Also in shared. You maybe? Well, also in shared. Then let's go for this one. Nope, wrong one. This one. It's a gold dust palmetto, probably buff or maybe buff, I should say, but she's also in full shared. So, years and years ago, so probably one of my first palmettos I got in, well, maybe even 2018. At least then I got a caramel palmetto from Sami Snakes. And they bought their het palmettos probably then in 2015 or so. And I said, yeah, palmetto, I won't invest so much money in palmettos because back then I think they paid 1,200 or 1,250 euros for a pair of normal het palmettos. And I said, yeah, they all look the same. Why would you breed palmettos? But yeah, they don't look all the same. I was an idiot back then. And well, in this case, it's a gold dust. So it has gold dust freckles. And with amelanistic, of course, it has red freckles. And with butter, it gets yellow. And so yeah, you can make a lot of combinations that look pretty good. So yeah, I was wrong, and Sami Snakes was right. So they were smart to get those, of course. So I will just scroll to some comments. Have you got Citrus-Morph, Buff Butter Okity? No, I don't. Years ago, I did breed Buff Butter and Buff Goldus with Motley and Tessera and Striped and all sorts of combinations. But I never had it with Okity lines because I don't really work with Okity. But I saw them, I think, last year for the first time in pictures on Facebook, but also in real life on a French, I think maybe it was Reptiles from France, who had some available in real life. And they do really pop. They're so amazingly yellow. So they do look really cool. So I would definitely get into them if I already would have some good Okity lines or something. But yeah, we talked about before, I don't know if you have about Okity, that I don't really have them. Because yeah, this is one of those things I would have an Okity and a reverse Okity and an extreme Okity, and then somebody would say, oh look, Buff Butter Okity, and I would think, oh that's also cool, let's also buy that, and before you know it, poof, you have an entire rack full of Okities. So I shouldn't. Can wait for mine to get that size. Very unfortunately to get the bug eyes once now and then, but they live hell. Yeah, so I also on my website I have I wrote, well, it's a couple of years ago, but an article about bug eyes, and yeah, unless they really plop out, then I don't. Yeah, then nobody knows, but you can assume that they won't have the best life. Yeah, they must have either pain in their eyes or in their head or whatever. So if they really have the big bug eyes, yeah, I don't keep those. If they just have a little bug eyes that just pop out a bit, yeah, it's difficult to say. Maybe they also have either worse vision, but they don't really use eyesight that much to hunt and stuff. So if they have their tongue and at least they eat, they feed, they poop, they shed, they breed, they do everything. But yeah, throughout the years, I do it, but basically most breeders do it. Yeah, the ones without bug eyes you keep, and the ones with bug eyes, you should. I don't breed with them at least anymore. But still, if you have two non-bug-eyed parents, you still can get bug-eyed babies, of course, which are usually males. So yeah, it's just an annoying thing. But yeah, it is part of, if you breed with palmettos, you can get bug eyes somehow, some way. So Raza asks, which one is your favorite? Your favorite one, grey dark and red corn. I wish to have 3 corns, yellow, grey and red myself. Well, probably something, yeah, well, it's basically a mix, but something energy-ish, probably something with mimosa. Let's let me grab something. I'm just thinking, I have one that I really like, but he's the worst a-hole in history, so he will bite me, so let's not do that. Well, are you in shared? Ah, damn it. He is in shared. But this is a male Mimosa Ultramel Enery Tessera Het Hypo Striped from 2016, which I bred myself. So he is 9 years old already, and this is not the original father of the Mimosa line, but it's the first generation basically. So yeah, the Mimosa line, yeah, I started it more than 10 or 11 or 12 years ago now. But this was one of the animals that I bred, and I thought, yeah, he is just special because he has a lot of yellow. Yeah, way more than normal. Also, like, yeah, on his face and on the top and stuff. So Ultramel Enerys can have yellow anyway, but yeah, it just popped out. But yeah, he is also in shared. But also, yeah, the rest of the color is a bit off, and so this is one of the animals that made me think, there's something going on with this line. So although he's not the pinkest, like how to make a mimosa, this looks really pink. Of course, it's also just for the picture, so it looks nicer. Although some are, of course, really pink. But yeah, he's not the pinkest, but I do like him. And on purpose this year, I will also breed him to 2 females that also have mostly the yellow look and yeah, the busy pattern and stuff. Just to go back to the old school mimosa or so. So for the last, well, in the beginning, I just thought, oh, I have a pink snake and another pink snake. Let's make more pink snakes, which really looks cool. And well, also selling wise, yeah, a really pink snow, they always do well. But I will this year try to go a little bit more, not with everything, but with some pairings. So with him, for instance, to go more towards the yellow look and not towards the pink look. Because yeah, the pink look looks a lot like Red Factor, of course. So yeah, he is pretty cool as a grey morph, although yeah, he's not really grey, of course. Yeah, there's a red morph. Well, for instance, this is pretty simple on one end. It's a Red Factor amelanistic Tessera, and it's head sunrise and Enery and head striped, but yeah, either something like this, like a Red Factor amelanistic, or a sun glow, or I don't have any, but sometimes you see Cayenne Fires, so it's an amelanistic diffused or a blood red, one of the two, also from like a Red Factor line or something similar. So getting an amelanistic snake with a red enhancer, so yeah, it could also be Mimosa or Red Factor or something like that, or the cherry line or something like that. That just works really well. So just a random person who wants to buy a fur snake, they will just say, yeah, but that's a missing black and that's a missing black, and for most people they will look the same, but especially as adults, to me at least, it's not. You can really see the line breeding to enhance reds and stuff. So yeah, something like that I would take as my favorite red morph, I guess. Wouter, hello Joshua, hello Wouter. I'm inclined to agree, better to not breed the bug-eyed ones. Sometimes it occurs in house snakes too. Oh, okay, I did not know about house snakes. Is it then also, just for me to learn, do you see it in certain morphs as well? Because they do also have, I don't know if it's really leucistic or like also a white morph or so, like blue-eyed leucistic or something. Or do you see it in other morphs as well? That would be, I would be curious about that. Well, Sophie, the snake that we bought in Hout is still in quarantine, so he's not in this room, so I also cannot show him. But he's doing well. Like to see an adult Aztec. Well, we can arrange that. One moment. Well, is she in shed? Not fully, but yeah, she is. I just checked her eye. But yeah, Aztec is mostly, of course, a pattern thing anyway. Although they do, color-wise, quite look like Okities, because they're quite red usually, and orange background and stuff. But I'll try to show it in its completeness. So yeah, this is one of the most extreme Okities that I kept. She is 2 years now, I guess. Or 3 maybe. No, I think 2. So basically all the way to the tail. So she is almost perfect. All snakes are perfect and everybody deserves love. No, that sounds bad. But yeah, one of my goals was to make a fully white stripe basically. And for instance here you can still see some little indentations. So she is not totally perfect yet, but it's really close. This year I will breed her to an Aztec as well, but not the most extreme Aztec by pattern I have. But she has possible head, hypo, amel and anery. So I also want to test that out. So she will produce nice looking Aztecs, but hopefully also with hypo, amel and or anery in the mix. So if I know what she does or does not carry genetically with her, then also next year I can see if I will choose another male or so. But yeah. So in case people sometimes wonder, no, this is not Tessera. There's no Tessera in there. This is really a line breeding or selective breeding of the pattern. So basically it is a normal or a classic or for all intents and purposes, but just for generations, try to breed a stripe like this. So it's sort of a pet project of mine. I really like them, and I know how many years it took for me to make something like this. Some people also do seem to like them. Selling wise, they don't do the best, which I can imagine, because if you would put this to a, I don't know, let's do a scalers or a normal or whatever you have, then you can just make babies that look totally normal, and some of them will be more zigzag Aztec or so. But it takes a while to get them perfect like this. So I understand that not many people want to start a project like this. But hey, sometimes some people just have something in their mind and they think, I have to do this. Could you teach some adult buff? I'll probably show, but what do I have buff-wise? 1 second, I have to check. Oh, wow. This is the first one I saw, but it is maybe difficult to see because it is a buff, but it's a buff honey Tessera. So it's a caramel sun-kissed Tessera buff. So the buff and caramel do work well together because they do become more yellow, like a way more bright yellow than just a normal honey Tessera would be. But it's also not the most easy to see. The easiest to spot buff is in amelanistic, because then you get orange. For instance, I have a palmetto caramel that might be buff. I have the palmetto gold dust I showed before that might be buff, but it's just almost impossible to see. I don't think I have many normal buff or orange anymore. So I cannot help you too much with it. I have a question. Is Denise still watching? Because then I will give away another t-shirt, because maybe you can get one then. Otherwise I will also give 1 or 2 more away, but I know that Denise was really looking forward to winning a t-shirt. So Raza says, so if you want to prove some possible heads, best way to breed with snakes with visual the same morph? Yes, because let's say you have a female that is possible head amelanistic, and it can be 66%, 50%, 25%, doesn't matter if it is a possible head amelanistic and you want to prove that out. If you pair a visual amelanistic to it, then statistically, if she is het, it's a 1 in 2 chance to make amelanistics. So let's say you have a small clutch and it's just 12 eggs, at least for me 12 eggs is pretty small, then statistically you should have 6 amelanistics and 6 normals in the clutch. But it is all statistics, so maybe it is 5 and 7, or maybe it is 4 and 8, or maybe just 1 and 11, but you have quite a big chance to make an amelanistic. If you would do a het amelanistic male to your female possible het amelanistic, even if they both are het, it is just 1 in 4 that will be amelanistic. So if you have then 12 eggs, statistically only 3 will be amelanistic and 9 will be normal. But yeah, from those 3, maybe it's just 2, or maybe it's just 1, or maybe 0. So the easiest to test out is always to use a visual for the ones you want to test. And the good thing is, let's say you have a female and she proved out not het amelanistic, but you used an amelanistic male, then all the babies are at least 100% het amelanistic. So even for the next generation, it is better to work it out like that. Denisha is still watching. Good. So, t-shirt giveaway time. For new people, I have FutureMorph t-shirt. I will keep saying it because I cannot see who is still watching and who is new. So I will ask you a genetic question, and if you put in the comments the right answer, then you will win a t-shirt. So, all get ready and get your typing fingers ready. Let's go for a different question again. Well, let's make it a little... No, let's not make it too difficult. Well, let's see who was watching the live stream for longer. So, which, well, not really morph, but which, which morph or which mutation that is mostly a line breeding thing I do like, but I do not have in my collection. So now I can test if you guys paid attention what I was saying. In the meantime, Oliver says hello. Hello, Oliver. And Raza said, damn, I thought 12 eggs. Well, it's not per se small, but on average, I'm about 16 eggs. So 12 eggs I also get. And I also get, yeah, like sometimes 8 or 9 eggs or so. But yeah, my average is 16. So I also have clutches of 25 and 30. So that's why 12 for me is quite low. But let's see who gets the question right for a t-shirt. And, that's a subtle hint. Which morph would it be? Kitty. So, if now people still don't get it, then... But still, the first person who types it will win. So, unless you already won one. Just one per person, of course. Denisha says, Kitty. Well, totally written wrong, but I will count it as correct. So, Denisha, yay, Kitty, you won a t-shirt. Yeah, it is... an O, a K, double E, T, double E. So it's almost written correct. But Denisha won. Martin, yeah, you are correct, but just too late, unfortunately. And Algila says, well, I guess Miami, but no, well, I do have some Miamis, but I don't have Okities. So Denisha won this round. So I will do one more round later. So then I gave away, what is it, 2, 3, 4, well, anyway, 5 or 6 shirts or whatever. So there will be one more t-shirt be given away. What else? Oh yeah, okay, it's allowed, Denisha, it's okay. One other thing people usually ask me about this time of year is about which reptile, well, how can I get a snake from you? Well, basically 3 options. I go to reptile shows in Houten in the Netherlands and in Hamm in Germany. Basically, I do all reptile shows that they do. Usually with a stand, but for instance in 2 days I don't have anything for sale, so I will just go as a visitor, but I could still bring you animals, of course, or t-shirts in this case. So Hamm and Houten reptile shows are always possible for a pickup. Also, if you have a courier, I have quite some people from like Spain and Italy and yeah, like south of Europe basically. So yeah, if you have a friend or, I don't know, a courier who comes to those shows, they can also just pick it up and bring it maybe back. That's usually the best thing. Another option is via a courier. So I do work with Go, General Overnight. But they ship in the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, parts of Poland, Switzerland, I think. Well, anyway, so I have some countries that I can ship to overnight. So that also works pretty well because yeah, I just pack it here. They pick it up usually 4 or 5 in the afternoon, something like that. And usually between 9 or 10, 11 in the morning, they arrive with you. So they are really just, yeah, for like 14, 15 hours in a box. So that works pretty well as well, and it's not super expensive. The downside is it's not possible if it's really cold, because I do use styrofoam boxes, and if it's too cold I do use heat packs. But yeah, if it's really freezing outside, especially at night, yeah, it will just become too cold. So it does work basically from yeah, June or July until well, October-ish, maybe November. But after that it really is too cold. So that's also an option. The third option is you can pick it up locally with me. That's not a problem at all. But I don't let people in my snake rooms, yeah, for multiple reasons. But I also just breed out of my house. So yeah, you don't want to have random strange people just walking around your house, of course. But I also do it, well, for theft reasons, but also for diseases and mites and stuff like that. But you can pick up a snake with me, but really only a reserved snake or snake. So if you order a snake with me and you saw a video or a picture and you want it, you can pick it up, but it really is just a handover and that's all. So I don't have a shop or whatever, so you cannot just come and look at snakes. That's also a question I get sometimes. So yeah, that's about it, I guess. Well, and sometimes, but not often, but sometimes we do like a road trip. So if, for instance, I go to Germany, to Nicola's parents, or yeah, wherever I go, sometimes I do a road trip and I will post it on Facebook as well. And then I can also deliver snakes to your house, yeah, personally. That also works really well, because then I start driving in the morning and then maybe an hour or 2 or 3 hours later you receive your snake already. So that's also an option. But yeah, it is just a matter of when I go, basically. So yeah, that's basically for all local things, or yeah, let's say within Europe. Shipping basically all over the world is possible. I work a lot with DDI, that's Dutch Dragon Import from Amsterdam. They are an animal exporter and they ship basically worldwide. So that does work really well, but you have to arrange all the export with them. I'm not in between that, because it's just too much, yeah, how would you say, paperwork or something. So it depends how many animals you want to ship and to where and when and stuff. And if you ask me, then I have to ask DDI and I get an answer and I have to tell you. So if you want to ship, if you want to get animals from me and you live in America or South Africa or wherever in the world, just talk directly to DDI. Because they can export from Amsterdam, but you also need an importer in your country, which is not super difficult, especially because corn snakes are not CITES animals or whatever, so they are not on any protected lists. So they are pretty easy to ship, but it's not just like a package with DHL or something that you get, of course. So basically talk to DDI for the export and talk to somebody who can import them and receive them in your country. Sometimes I also work with Dutch Teliqua. They're also from the Netherlands. They also export also to Asia. So you could also contact them. And Colubra also sometimes work with. They also ship worldwide, also to parts of America that DDI does not ship to. So Colubra, they are at the moment in Spain, but that's also an option. So basically, doesn't matter where you live. It's almost always possible to get snake from me. Let's do some comments before I start talking too much. Raza says, this year I started with my first snake. Could not resist because in my country hard to get interesting morphs. My girl Goldtest Tessera will be looking for a boy at some point. Well, I know on one hand what you mean, but Goldtest Tessera, they are around for a long time, so if you look at it like that, they are not per se unique or whatever, but they are not around that often, and they just look cool. Sometimes I also, well, I have quite some corn snakes, of course, in my collection, and if I say so myself, also quite some cool corn snakes. So sometimes I also think like, oh yeah, but this is not special anymore because I just have it in my collection for 2 or 3 years. So for me, it's became a normal morph. But that doesn't mean they are not cool or something. And the same with the Goldtest Tessera. As babies, they are also cool, but especially as adults, it's just to look at, it's a really cool snake. So breeding them, well, I would go for something at least with butter, because then you get butter and Goldtest, and Tessera will also be in the mix. But yeah, maybe, yeah, it's not the newest morph, but it's still just a cool snake. So that's most important, of course. Awesome engagement with you, yours. Must keep in touch on Messenger. Hope to catch the next one. Well, Tyrone, thanks for being here, of course, and for all the messages and stuff like that. So just message me and yeah, with all your questions. Nice topic, shipping. Are you service shipping to Lithuania? Oh, well, and the next is, can you ship to Denmark? Probably yes, but I don't do it myself. I don't arrange the export myself. But, well, maybe I also already answered the question in the meantime. But Dutch Dragon Import might be your best guess, or your first go-to. So just message them and ask if it's possible and what the costs are and stuff like that. They say they ship worldwide, so it basically only matters if they have somebody they can ship it to. Because yeah, as soon as snakes go on a plane, of course, and the plane lands somewhere, they also need to be imported in your country officially. So that's one option. Or yeah, maybe even quicker / safer or cheaper is if you have people, either yourself or people you know from your area, your country, that come to a Ham or Houten show. So I know, I don't know if it's every show, but definitely from Denmark there are some people coming to the Houten or Ham shows. Lithuania, to be honest, I'm not really sure. I don't have that many people from Lithuania who contact me. But yeah, that's usually the easiest. So if somebody in your city, area, friend group, messenger group, Facebook group, whatever, goes to Reptile Show, just ask them, hey, you are going anyway, I ordered a snake, can you pick it up at Future-Morphs? And yeah, maybe they ask, I don't know, 20 euros, 50 euros, 100 euros, I don't know, just depends. But then at least you know the person who will take them. That's usually the easiest. So yeah, that's probably the cheapest, because shipping one snake to the other side of the world is probably quite expensive. But if you have 100 snakes that fit in the same box, the shipping price, well, it will go up a bit, but the highest price you pay for basically the box and the paperwork and all the time for the exporter and importer and stuff. So usually it's way cheaper to ship 10 snakes at once than just one. But if you have a person who goes to a reptile show anyway, yeah, then yeah, one snake might be cheaper. So, but yeah, just talk to DDI. Maybe don't ask them now already, because yeah, then you will get an answer. Yeah, it's possible, but it will take a couple months before I have any babies, of course. But yeah, just you can DDI works pretty well for me at least. So and otherwise Colubra or Dutch Teliqua. Just try those as well. Well, before we go, because I'm live for more than an hour and I'm getting tired of listening to myself. So I can imagine you are also tired of listening to me. But I promised one more t-shirt giveaway. Woohoo! One more t-shirt will be given away to the first person who will guess the morph correct of a snake I will show. So I will take a snake, I will show it to the camera, and the first person who says the correct morph, they win. And it's just a visual morph, so it doesn't matter if it has heads or it's a male or a female, just a morph. So you get ready on your keyboards and get your fingers ready for typing. If you already won a t-shirt, you cannot win anymore, so a new person will win. So let's see, what will we go for? He's also in shared. They should not be in shared. That might be the easiest. No, that might be too difficult. This one. So, hopefully you are all ready. There we go, 3, 2, 1. What is this? Now it's a he. I hope he will sit still. Yeah, might also be a bit in shed, but not really. I just want to... yeah, now it's gone. So, which morph do you see? If he will show his face, maybe. Show your face. And you can guess as many times if you want. So if you have it not correct the first time... But yeah, look at his eye. Maybe I should get out of the way for focusing. What do you see? It's not the easiest, but also, well, it is sort of difficult maybe. But yeah, just make a guess, and I will give subtle hints maybe in the meantime, after some people might not get it in one go. Goltus scalus, close, but there's more to it, Martin. It's not just Goltus scalus, but it is definitely scalus and definitely Goltus. But what else do you see? Jose says saffron, no. So saffron would be sun-kissed butter, but it's not a sun-kissed and not a butter, and it's already a scalus. So butter scalus, well, Algila, you're close, but it's similar, but it's at least Goltus scalus, but with something else. Look at the pattern. Denise says scalus buff butter motley. No, but it looks similar, but no. But maybe look at the belly as well. Maybe that gives a subtle hint. But look at the pattern. So what is it besides scalus Goltus? OMG. No, Peter, it's not an oh my god. Well, it is oh my god amazing, but it's not... Martin, Goltus motley scalus. Correct! You win, Martin. So the scalus can make patterns look a little stranger anyway, but yeah, especially the white belly, but you see it more often in scalus. But also the sides are totally free of pattern, and it might be difficult to show, but well, maybe here you can see like the circles between the saddles, and there's no edge around the saddles and stuff, so it's definitely a motley. So Martin, congratulations. So yeah, also just message me either on Messenger or on WhatsApp, whatever you prefer, and tell me, hey, I want a t-shirt, and well, we will get you a size and hopefully a color that's still available for you. So hopefully you are also at home in 2 days, because then I can just give it to you there. I will put this one away in the meantime. Bloop. So, well, 2 things. Congratulations to people who won a t-shirt. At least I hope you're happy with it. And for everybody, thanks for watching. But also a big thank you for people who interact and just make comments, because yeah, it makes it so much easier for me. Otherwise, I'm just talking to a camera, and now I have the idea I'm talking to humans, so that makes it a bit better. I do see a question from Goat Snakes. How do you identify the Tessera motley? I will see if I can get some examples. So I will talk about it, so don't go away yet. But if people have any other questions that cannot wait until the next live, then just let me know, just write a comment. But otherwise, we will close the live stream after this question. So in general, Goat, Tessera can be, well, they can be sort of nicely striped, but usually they are a little bit more zigzag-ish, and the pattern is not really nicely striped, but yeah, more like, yeah, with all edges and stuff. And as soon as you have motley in the mix, then it basically makes one nice pinstripe on the back, with the exception of Mimosa. Sometimes Mimosa messes it up, but let's see if I can find what I mean. Well, for instance, this is just Tessera, so there's no motley in there. But look, this pattern is really busy, and it has some stripes, but it also has some broken parts in it, basically. And yeah, it's not a nice straight stripe, but it has like the, I don't know how you say it in English, like the little marks, like the red marks, like there and there, like in the stripe, basically. So this is just Tessera. Now I have to try to find a Mimosa, or a Tessera motley. Do I have that? I should have that. Yeah, this is a quite good. It's not totally perfect, but this is Tessera motley, and well, it does have a little block there and there, but basically overall they have one big pinstripe from the neck, like all the way down to the tail. So it's just one big pinstripe. Plus they have white bellies without any pattern, but sometimes you see it in Tessera as well. But motleys, they do have white bellies, of course. And what also gives it away is the sides. So there is some pattern here on the sides, but it's faded basically. So yeah, you can still see the stripe on the side, but yeah, it's not the really busy pattern that you see in normal Tesseras. So, another one. Well, no, yeah, that's a scaleless. That's a bad example. Do I have any others? I'm looking. Well, yeah, I have some with Mimosa, but yeah, with Mimosa it's not really fair because it messes up the pattern anyway. So, always check the belly, the sides and the back pattern, and they all basically have their own giveaways. So it can be a bit difficult sometimes, but if you check all sides of a snake, then usually it's not too difficult. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. So, that was it for now. I don't see any new questions, so let's just end it. Thanks for watching. I will post this on YouTube as well if you want to look it back, because it's difficult to look back on Facebook. But, well, thanks for watching and being here. And everybody who wants a t-shirt, just send me a message. And then we will find a way to get you the t-shirt. Thank you. Bye-bye.